All right, let's get cooking. Welcome to the latest edition of Chin Check Sports Radio. I'm your host, JD. I want to thank you all for taking the time out to join us. And as always, we welcome any suggestions, feedback, comments, and criticisms, which improves the quality of our program, which ultimately improves your listening experience. Before we get started, I want to send all of you thank you for your tremendous support. People are slowly but surely finding out about who we are and what we do. They enjoy and respect the passion with which we speak. But as we always say here at Chin Check Sports Radio, we do this because we love it as we continue to share our passions with you all as we build our listening army to take over the world. We are your go-to on YouTube for Dallas Cowboys coverage during the NFL season, as well as any and all Cowboys coverage throughout the year. The 2023 Dallas Cowboys Week 15 loss on the road against the Miami Dolphins. Let's jump right into our numbers. Quarterback Dak Prescott, 20 of 32 attempts, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tony Pollard, 12 carries, 38 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 6 catches, 118 yards, 1 touchdown. Jalen Tolbert, 2 catches, 51 yards. Jake Ferguson, 4 catches, 45 yards. Brandon Cooks, 2 catches, 14 yards, 1 touchdown. Donovan Wilson, 12 total tackles, 8 solo. Marquise Bell, 8 total tackles, 6 solo, 1 tackle, 4 loss. Damon Clark, 7 total tackles, 5 solo. Micah Parsons, 7 total tackles, 2 solo, half a sack, 1 tackle, 4 loss. Stephon Gilmore, 5 total tackles, 4 solo. Jordan Lewis, 5 total tackles, 3 solo, 1 tackle, 4 loss. Malik Hooker, 4 total tackles, 3 solo, 1 tackle, 4 loss. Jaron Kearse, 2 total tackles, 2 solo. Sam Williams, 2 total tackles, 2 solo, 1 tackle, 4 loss. Chauncey Golston, 2 total tackles, 1 solo. Deron Bland, 2 total tackles, 1 solo. DeMarcus Lawrence, 2 total tackles. You know, folks, that we do not gloss over wins, nor do we overreact to losses. However, about this game, ladies and gentlemen, the Dallas Cowboys could be in some serious trouble. Now, Chin Check, why do you say so? The Cowboys have already clinched a playoff spot. That's great. But really ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, are you really sure about this team, the way that they're playing, going into really trying to make a playoff run? Like, let's really ask yourself that question. Because what went wrong in this game? The Cowboys came out with the opening drive, marched the ball right down the field on the Miami Dolphins, whatever in goal at the 1 yard line to give it to Hunter Lipke, which we did not have a problem with them giving the ball to the fullback because he converted a lot of short yardage situation on the same drive. But he just fumbled the ball, whether you attribute it to Dak or him, but he fumbled the ball, which should have been the go-ahead score. And the Cowboys, they should have won this game 27-22. However, the Cowboys did respond. They held the Miami Dolphins to 3 points. The Cowboys then scored on a CeeDee Lamb touchdown catch and run, and the Cowboys did nothing in the second quarter. They did nothing in the third quarter. It wasn't until they scored 1 field goal, and it wasn't until their second touchdown late in the fourth quarter, which let them go up 20-19. The defense, who had played, we thought, very well against this explosive offense, to hold them to 22 points with the Tua Tagovailoas and the Tyreek Hills and the Jalen Waddles to help to hold that team to 22 points. I think the defense did a damn good job. They held Tua to 293 yards passing. Raheem Mostert only had 46 yards rushing. Of course, Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill. 99 yards receiving, but nothing really too explosive. A few little plays here and there. Jalen Waddle, 1 catch for 50 yards. So the Cowboys defense, we thought, played very well. So this goes into some of the things that are really plaguing this team. Obviously, the loss of Tyron Smith really hurt this team because you saw Chuma Edoga, the rookie. I'm sorry. He's not a rookie. I believe he's a veteran. But either way, had an awful game today. We're talking about just missing blocks, allowing unblocked guys to just rush that Prescott. We're talking about getting beat on moves on the inside. Just an awful game. Cowboys fans, do you see why we say the Cowboys should have been moved on from Tyron Smith? We cannot keep dealing with this every single year where we know he's going to miss time and now your offensive line is totally in disarray. We should have been something about this, and we've been saying this 2-3 years ago, and like clockwork, as we're coming down to the home stretch of the season, Tyron Smith is out. Hey, it is what it is, but those are the facts. Also, we talked about them giving the ball to Hunter Lipke. folks, are we really being honest with ourselves going to the playoffs? Is Tony Pollard the answer? Because is the explosiveness just not there? Now, we're going to be honest with ourselves, and let's be all the way real with it, because this is what we do here at Chin Check Sports Radio. The Miami Dolphins was the number 4 ranked rushing defense. So that can't be poo-pooed away. And it just cannot be overlooked. However, 12 carries for 38 yards. And on the opening drive, the touchdown run that should have been a touchdown run from him was missed because of a horrible block by Jake Ferguson, a piss-poor effort on the block, and the Miami defensive back making a great play that stuffed Tony Pollard. This is why we said during the season we should have made a play for Derrick Henry at the trade deadline. Now, ask yourself this question. If Derrick Henry gets that ball, he's finding the nose to the end zone. The power, the explosiveness is just not there with Tony Pollard. And not only was he hit at the goal line, he was knocked a yard back. When I'm talking about body totally turned, ball turned away from the goal line. That was bad. So, again, that pretty much was the play of the game. On the defensive side, it was only to really generate 1 sack. And that sack came in the third quarter when it mattered most. They could not do anything in the final quarter. And we also said this about the Cowboys throughout the years. Go back to when, again, Tyron Smith, when he missed injuries, when Sean Lee missed the game due to injuries, Sean Lee missed the game due to injuries, and the team fell apart. You mean to tell me with big Jonathan Hankins not man in the middle, the Cowboys' run defense is just not there? That's a problem. And what was funny, even the Cowboys were able to generate 1 sack. Honestly, we don't think they generate a whole lot of QB pressure, to be really honest about it. They got 1 sack, and an interesting fact at the end of the game was that the Dolphins were playing with 2 backup guys on the right side. So that Dallas Cowboys defensive line, that's supposed to be a strength, couldn't do anything against an offensive line with 2 backups. Their defensive line got 4 sacks, and we had 1 backup in the game. Folks, be honest with yourselves. This team is not primed and ready to go. Again, Dak had his moment, leading the team from behind. But again, we're not going to give any kudos or credit for that. He did nothing offensively from the first quarter on. They have not beaten a quality team on the road. And guess what? They're going to have to go on the road to the playoffs. Oh, no, I'm sorry. On the road in the playoffs. And they'll more than likely be playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cowboys fans, are we really that sure that they're going to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Are we really sure about that? Now, next game, they're playing at home against the Detroit Lions. Now, of course, they'll probably come out and they'll light the world up to say that they've beaten another quality team. That's great, but you have not beaten a quality team on the road, and that you're going to have to go on the road throughout the playoffs in order to achieve their goal. And that includes, if need be, at Philadelphia and or at San Francisco. So this is where we are. The Cowboys definitely have cause for concern. Before some idiot Cowboys fans jump and say we're in the playoffs, that's besides the point. We've been in the playoffs for 2 straight years under Mike McCarthy. However, if they want to get where they need to be, they better shore this thing up, and especially on the road. Again, we've seen the same pattern with this team of not delivering, of boneheaded plays. Now, before anybody says this, and yes, there were clearly some missed holding calls against the Cowboys that really should have been called. We don't give a damn. We will say it again. We don't give a damn. You're supposed to play through that, and you're supposed to be these type of teams that are able to overcome that. If you can't overcome a missed penalty here and there and a call here and there, then maybe you're not those elite teams. Because let me say this, the San Francisco 49ers aren't complaining about being held in places and not getting the proper calls. They're steamrolling everybody. The defense plays, the offense plays, so it is what it is. I know facts can hurt, but facts can be a stubborn thing. Do you see the Baltimore Ravens complaining about missed calls and missed this, and we're getting held on plays and they're not calling it, or folks on Twitter showing plays that Micah Parsons is being held? No, you don't. San Fran is handling business. Baltimore is handling business. The Cowboys need to handle business. So we'll see, but most importantly, and before we forget, we at Chin Check Sports Radio, we pride ourselves on being very sensible as Cowboys fans. Now, there are some absolute stupid asses who are football fans and people in general. We saw reports of Cowboys fans leaking personal information and threatening Dallas Cowboys football players for their poor performance against Buffalo. I believe Wanye Thomas and another player on the Cowboys defense. At the end of the day, this is sports, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the end-all, be-all. It's sports. This is a game. These guys are the best athletes in the country. Obviously, because it's American football, so we're not going to say the world. But we have a serious problem with fans with that kind of disgusting behavior. And some of these imbeciles who sit in their mom's basement having nothing better to do than to leak out personal information, other fans calling these guys and harassing them, or whether showing them to their house, you listen to their personal address. Folks, at the end of the damn day, it is a simple game. That's all this is. Even though we love your team, you can hate your team, you like this team, you hate this team, it's a game at the end of the day. We as fans can wear your lucky jersey, lucky hat, lucky this, pray to the football heavens. But guess what? We have no direct outcome on the game. We are fans. We are simply watching. It is these guys who decide the action. So that's rather disgusting. And yes, we're going to call those idiot and dumbass Cowboys fans out for that. But most importantly, we wish you all a Merry Christmas. Please be safe. If you're traveling, if you're with your family right now, please enjoy your family because life is never guaranteed. If you're en route to travel while listening to us on Chin Check Sports Radio, please travel safely. And until the next time, Merry Christmas and see you guys then.